So tell me about what is it? The worldwide bridging experiment.
Yeah, it was on International Ghost Hunting Day, which is back on October the 1st, and
Right.
it was
So
worldwide...
wait. October the 1st is
Yeah.
International Ghost Hunting Day.
Yeah, it is. Is there anything?
I did not know that.
It is.
Mark it on the
I didn't know
calendar.
until this year either. So, but basically, I think it was a whole lot of teams around the world doing the same exact thing, and we had like our laptops out in Willercourt because we had it at Willercourt.
Right. Ah.
And we were asking the same questions using the same. I think we're using a DVR and a spirit box. So basically, all our evidence would be put back into the data system they had, and we would put all our answers down, and the other teams would put their answers down. We had to say these strange lines. I can't remember the lines. Was something about I don't know. It was really out there lining. I was watching. I didn't want to say it. I think we had some other people from TMH say it at the time. But it was it was it was really weird. The first one wasn't too bad. It's basically asking questions. Can you hear me through this device? That sort of basic simple thing. And the second, there was like a couple of stages within the bridging experiment. The second one was something about the Journeyer and the Explorer. Yeah, it was really weird. Yeah, I think it's something to do with the person who made the experiment, and it's their sort of special. Right. You don't know what it means, but we may tell you if we get the answers. I don't know. It was weird, but yeah, we participated in that, and that was great. We took people around Willercourt, talked about the history, paranormal experiences, that sort of stuff. But
and this was happening all over the world.
Yeah, that was happening all over the world.
Like a psychic link up, or
yeah, pretty much all. Like it was happening all at the exact same time.
Well, as well as the internet would allow us, because it was a little bit laggy at times, and we were using a phone for the internet because it didn't have any. There's no internet nearby. Yeah, so it was an interesting experience. Yeah,
awesome. Just before we go, I just want to ask you, what's your favourite ghost account of all time? Not just yours, but anyone's, anywhere. What's the one you point to and say, look at this crazy stuff?
That I know of is when I actually physically saw one. So that's why.
Really?
Yeah, that's why.
Oh, you didn't tell us that?
Yeah, I didn't tell you that. I think we were talking about something. I was going to say, then we moved on. I'm like, okay.
Oh, sorry. No. Yes, you saw one. Do tell.
I saw one at Willercourt when we were investigating in the early days, so 2016. So not that early, but early for us.
Yeah.
And we were setting up gear summertime, back at 9:30, I think I was, setting up the Kinect and the cameras and such. And I just got my night vision camera out, and I saw something in the corner of my eye. It looked like just a piece of dust going up the hallway. I'm like, it must be a piece of dust. But it acted really erratically, and I saw it with my own eyes as well.
Okay.
So that's when I'm like, okay, this is weird. So I followed it up the hallway on the upstairs and in the ladies' cottage. So this is taking place in the ladies' cottage, and I got really excited. And I saw it go into a doorway, and I followed it with my camera. And I put the camera up, looking through my viewfinder, and I look below me, and it's half an apparition, misty apparition.
No way.
And it walks into me, and I freak out, because I wasn't expecting anything.
Oh!
And I freak out, and I walk back, and Ben and my other guy's not here today, Harley, he saw it, so you guys saw it. So what did it look like from your angle?
It, like, think of a... It's like, it's going to sound really corny, but like think of like a little, like, I don't know, about here on your torso.
Right.
Think of a misty cloud type thing,
okay.
Like a really misty see-through-ish cloud, and then below that is like solid misty white legs, like child legs, like
wow,
legit
actual
step out, step out
into
stand. He moved back, and then it sort of just stood there for 1 or 2 seconds, and then it just disappeared.
That's
I didn't have a camera at the time. I was setting up.
We're just setting up. It's when you're setting up, you capture stuff. I swear. And that's the first time I've really freaked out. I don't. Really? We generally keep pretty calm when we do it. It's like, I felt something touched me.
You'd have to have a cool head for this kind of stuff.
You do. I think we do. You do. Just
but evidently,
just because. When we're doing this sort of stuff, you see that sort of stuff, you hear strange things, and we also, one of our favourite experiments is splitting up in buildings, all alone, isolation experiment.
Okay, so you're off by yourself.
You're off by yourself,
right?
And so you kind of need to be calm about this, because otherwise you.
So you're in a haunted house, in a room, cut off from your friends,
by yourself,
right?
No torch, no vision camera, DVR. That's it.
How do you go with that? How do you find that?
I think
you get used to it,
right?
Yeah, I thought I did, but. The Gaiety Theatre. There's a hotel section in the Gaiety Theatre, and I thought, this is going to be easy. I've been through the Willercourt Mental Asylum. It's, I was going through the hallway. I think this looked creepy, and it just started to freak me out going through this hallway by myself, and it's just long. How long is it? About 30 meters, something like that. And it's just a hallway with rooms either side. So you're like, trying to look at something coming out at me, kind of thing.
So a bit sort of Shining style.
Really,
yeah. And so you this was an isolation thing.
Isolation experiment. Yeah.
Now, was it just what was oppressing you? What was?
I don't know. It was just I felt something. I just felt it's just scary. I don't know why. I normally don't get that scared. I've walked up in the ladies' cottage by myself, and that's creepy. But I don't know if because maybe I'm used to it by now. But I don't know if anything was just there with me at the hotel, the Grand. But
or just nerves.
It's nerves. I think. Okay. And I was just you need to keep calm when you're doing this sort of stuff. Oh, you're just going to start hearing things. Right. And that's the last thing you want. You know, when you're like freaking out and you think you're seeing stuff.
Yeah. Right. And then you're screwed, I guess.
It's all down here.
Sam, what's your favourite ghost account?
I've never really got a favourite.
Okay.
He's always missed out. He's been really unlucky. Really? Every time...
Doesn't have to be one you've experienced, but one you read about, or one that is your favourite go-to ghost story of all time, or...
Well, yeah, I still don't really have a favourite. There's a broad range, but again, as Stan was saying, every time Ben and Stan and Harley's experienced something, I've been at work or I've been elsewhere.
Yeah, it's like...
and I hear all about it when I'm on my way back. And
then you come on the next one, it's like,
and then
nothing's
it's quiet. all the fish have gone away.
I think with your favourite experience, what about the Batman Faulkner? That was with the REM pod and stuff.
Oh, yes.
You were in the room. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, I was in the room, and I think another one was I was standing in front of the bed, and I think Stan had the Connect. And there was like it mapped in a figure next to me.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Which you could sort of feel it, like you get like a kind of like a cool numbing feeling.
Right. Yeah, I think the EMF went off a few times.
Really?
So,
yeah, and it kind of like, you get like an anxious feeling too.
Right, okay. Yeah.
It's just out
like
of nowhere. And then Stan, I don't know, it's hard to say, but yeah, the next thing I know, Stan's like, well, stand there, I think there's something next to you. Just,
right.
Yeah, to see if there's anything that map in, like there was no chair or anything, it was just a wall. But yeah, so it was...
I think Gary Sullivan, that dude taught us a lot of the stuff we do sort of know and use now. He said the best tool is your body.
Right.
So always believe in your body. But again, you don't want to freak out over the top. To make yourself believe in it, you're just going to be skeptical.
The last thing I'd be believing is my body.
Yeah.
It's like...
It sucks when your body works too well sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've got that kind of... speciality, if you say.
Really?
Not. It's sort of new. Like, even though it's a year into it, it's still kind of new to me. Like, people say that I'm, what is it? An empath.
I think you're slightly empath.
Yeah, like,
right.
empath. Okay. Yeah, like, I'm more sensitive, towards spirits rather than these guys. These guys are like locked up. I'm more open.
Okay.
Experiences,
which can be a bad thing because we've had instances where the spirits have literally been feeding off Ben, and we've documented it, which is really strange. It sounds really weird.
Well, how do you document?
Well, in this particular case, we were investigating the ladies' cottage again, and we're doing this series, The Shadows.
Shadow in the Dark,
and it was investigating this thing behind the stairs, and he never experienced that because he's at work. And this particular entity was feeding off Ben, and Ben says, "I feel something on my back. It's on my back," and we get a millimeter, and we get I think it was K2 as well as a rook meter, and we're checking, and this thing is picking up on his back. Move away from it, disappears. Move back to his back. Right. It's there. And not only did we do that, it followed him around, and we went to different areas in the room.
Yeah.
And did the same thing, and there's nothing to contaminate that. And I've been in there so much, I know that place like the back of my hand. I know what's going to contaminate and what's not. That place has no running power. It limits it quite a bit. Right. There's no internet. There's just nothing, and
it's localized on your back. And
it was just on his back, and it disappeared eventually. But it was like feeding off you or something.
I don't know. The more because. Stan does help out with the tours there, and I go and I'll do pretty much a isolation experiment the whole night of the tour underneath the stairs, because that was a priority at the time because we knew something was behind there. The more and more I did it, the more open I got to whatever was behind there, which got kind of dangerous in the end.
We did. I'm sorry about that, but we had some psychics come on the tour once. And we didn't know there were psychics at all, and it was unbelievable. When I do the tours, I like to get people involved.
Right.
So not only am I asking questions, I ask people, ask questions, be great. Then they might not want to respond to me. They might want to respond to you because they're probably sick of hearing my voice. So we had this group of psychic mediums, and there was about 5 or so of them. They were on point with everything, like the way they just knew stuff that they shouldn't have known. Like, it was real weird.
Right.
Like, they were getting, again, it's they were saying stuff, our instruments were saying that's correct.
I was using the dowsing rods at the time, and the more questions they asked, because we didn't know the psychic meanings at the time, but the more questions they asked and the more, you know, they got more correct, I sort of felt like not a connection, but like sort of sensing that, that, you know, they might be psychic type thing.
Right.
And then I asked them afterwards. It's like they were.
And they actually said to you that you're a bit sensitive. Like, they actually said to you it.
Really?
To you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't just him feeling it. Someone
Sure.
actually came along later and said,
boom,
I
out of
think
the
you
blue.
might be.
Yeah. Dangerous. What does that mean? You mentioned dangerous.
As Stan said earlier in the interview, the get a spirit to follow you home type
yes.
thing, that
Right.
type of dangerous.
Right.
But thank God it never happened.
Really?
It kind of followed me home. There was like a connection
Okay.
type thing, and I went home after a tour, after telling it to come talk
Right.
to us, and it got like really dark in the room, and then we hear like sort of like a moan and a growl type thing.
That was
behind-
during a
behind me,
tour as
behind
well.
the stairs,
That was
yeah.
during a tour. And
People were like freaking out. We're like telling them calm down. We're freaking out also, but we're trying to keep
stay
our
here,
cool.
guys. We're going home. You keep this thing occupied. We're running away.
But yeah, going home. What's it called? I got really angry.
Right.
Like just a constant fuel of anger, just constantly.
Right.
Every time I woke up of a morning, it was just I'd go out in the kitchen, try and make a cup of tea. I stuff it up. I crack the shits type thing. Like, I just
Right.
I couldn't do anything. I was just angry at
agitated
everybody.
Right.
Yeah. My parents, my brothers and stuff. I was angry. I was just constant anger. And then I had to ask one of our TMH's psychic for help because I just
Really?
didn't know what to do.
So it got to a point where you realised this is not me.
Yeah, this is I work locally at New Norfolk,
Right.
and every time I work nights sometimes, and I even thought it was there, like playing with my head. I'd see stuff coming out of like the corner of my eyes. Like I felt like it was just it was oppressing me somehow, and it just got unbearable.
Right.
So I had to ask him for help,
Right.
and thank God I did, and it did help.
And what did they do to help?
Pretty much, they said you've got to go in the shower type thing. Got to go in the shower. Sounds weird.
Yeah, no.
Take off all your clothes.
You've got to wash now.
You've got to go in the shower and you've got to visualise yourself pretty much covered in light type thing. You've got to visualise yourself covered in light, absolute light, and pretty much the darkness flushing down the drain type thing. Like
Right.
it was sort of like a cleansing type
Right.
thing.
Okay.
And I felt better after that, and I did it for a couple more nights just to make sure. But yeah, that connection was
It does sound kind of weird.
then broken.
You've got to have a shower now.
Yeah,
Damn it.
it's the first time talking about it. I didn't even tell you about it, but yeah, that's what he told me to do, and it did help.
Right.
And that's Martin. What was his last name? Can't remember.
That's to see.
So Martin C. Mr. C. Martin.
Mr.
I
C.
know.
Right. From Tasmania's Most Haunted.
Yeah, they're psychic, and yeah, I'd really like to thank him for doing that.
Well, look, I'm really looking forward to seeing how the future plays out with you guys, and I'm an avid follower of your Facebook, and I can't wait till you get that pot of gold one day, and we actually catch one.
Eventually catch one.
But I think even the journey is probably just as rewarding as the results.
It just simple driving up the West Coast the other day. It was just
drive was amazing.
It was just
Really,
so nice.
yeah.
So it's the adventure, as in like the big adventure as well. Like just doing it, traveling there, people we meet, history, and the other bits in between. It's all adds to the experience.
Right.
So yeah,
Awesome.
Because I didn't think we'd get this type of big in this such small amount of time.
Really?
Because our team's only 1 year and 1 month old.
that's not old.
Like around there, like about 1 year old, and we didn't think we'd be able to, like waltz into these type of buildings. Like we didn't really think we'd be able to get this big.
No, I think we're very
in such
lucky.
a amount of
We're
time.
very lucky. That's all.
Yeah. Well, it's also Tasmania. I mean, people are pretty happy and
Yeah,
willing
exactly.
to share
Yeah,
what they've got.
yeah, there were. Yeah, I think that's what we've generally got every time we walked in. I mean, the bush inn, good example. We just sort of managers. Oh, do you mind if we investigate your place? Yeah, sure. And they tell us a whole massive story about it, and they're like, you can have access to anything you want. So yeah,
It's like a whole
was great.
building access,
Right.
Like right on that night. It's like
he's very happy, even though it was a functioning hotel.
Really? And you just allowed to walk around.
and that was our
Fantastic.
first. That was our first big investigation.
Right.
without having like the TMH guys there.
Yeah,
Like
having
we'd
the
still
help on the
message
side.
them
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But that was our first real get in there type investigation for us, and it was quite successful as well.
No, people
really?
loved it. I think in Norfolk, so bushing's been around for ages, so people
Right.
know about the place. And,
Yeah.
people loved it. So that's the main thing. Is people hope they enjoy our stuff as well.
Right.
Just as much as we enjoy making it and doing it.
Yeah, well, it is
Yeah.
like it's an absolutely engrossing subject. I think you're going to get a lot of interest, and you just to see what happens on YouTube with people like yourself and doing that. But I think what I see from you guys is that benefit, that mutual benefit you have in the community. Yeah, we're chasing ghosts, but really, it's about the friendship.
We're really nice guys.
Indeed. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys.
It's been great.
Good,
talking
thank
to
you.
Thanks so much. Like we always do, we're going to put all the links up on this page when it goes up, when we upload it into the radio machine, and you'll be able to check these guys out, like them up, follow them, give them messages. Sam, thank you. Cool. Stan,
Thank you very much.
awesome, and Ben.
So thanks, guys.